Rites and Rituals, the Making of African American Debutante Culture. Curated at California African American Museum. Social organizations such as Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Links Incorporated, the Questionettes, and the 20th Century Onyx Club have a long history of challenging institutionalized stereotypes that have limited the role and potential of Black girls. Rites and Rituals, the Making of African American Debutante Culture, investigates the origins of these social organizations and the ways they supported young Black girls, both past and present. The history and evolution of the African American debutante includes thousands of young women who took part in shaping a new vision of Blackness, representing not only their families' aspirations, but for the collective as a whole, towards racial equality. As someone who grew up participating in debutante culture, yes, it's all about the dress, but the tradition of debutante cotillion at its core is so much more than that. You see, we come from a legacy of doers. Through our own acts of charity and philanthropy, our societies have always existed, even during the late 1800s. At this time, the Eurocentric white woman's beauty ideal standards that dominated magazines and newspapers did not always properly represent Black female beauty. Black women's social clubs sought to counter these caricature stereotypes by presenting Black girls as both beautiful and innocent. A 2012 study showed that Black Americans were found to donate 25% more of their income per year compared to white Americans. With the Black community perpetually at risk, especially during enslavement, Black people historically developed strong networks of mutual aid in response to years of combating racism and oppression. These ideals shaped the image of the debutante and mirrored the control families exerted over their daughters as they matured, particularly regarding courtship. Limiting their interactions with the opposite sex and employing chaperones increased a debutante's marriageable value, which was derived in part from their perceived purity. Historically, debutantes have always played a significant role in the transmission of patriarchal power among the upper classes. Marriage was an avenue for financial and legal protection, and the most profitable and esteemed marriages were made by debutantes. Whether in Europe or the Americas, prominent, elite, and wealthy Black families have always held their own private debuts for their daughters. The debutante and her rituals epitomize the ideals of racial uplift, emphasizing morality, duty, and personal responsibility, as well as the nuclear family structure consisting of two parents and their children. In their coverage of debutante balls or cotillions, columnists in Black newspapers presented a connected and moral family unit, with stories highlighting the deb's parents, particularly their fathers. The phrase "daughter of" frequently appears in these articles, signaling the father's central role in his daughter's social transformation and his ability to provide beyond the family's basic needs. With increasing economic mobility, those who embrace the ideologies of racial upliftment, such as Fannie Barrier Williams and W.B. Du Bois, saw this ethos as an important vehicle to combat negative stereotypes. With support from the Freedmen's Bureaus, HBCUs began to emerge. Still, in 1890, only 30 Black women in the United States held bachelor's degrees, compared with 300 Black men. Sending their daughters to college became an effective way for wealthy and aspiring Black families to assert their status. Black middle-class families, leaders, and activists have always rose to the challenge to defend their community's image and dignity. These leaders urged the Black community to represent their people in an inspiring and respectable manner at all times, and to promote the idea that educated Blacks were responsible for the welfare of their own people.